Sentire Media.
Do you keep saying, one day I'm going to move to Italy? Well, today is that day. My Move to Italy bootcamp is back September 9th, 10th, and 11th this year, and it's completely free, totally online, and it only happens once a year. For thousands of people, this bootcamp was the turning point, the moment that things got very real. So if you're even thinking about moving to Italy, make sure you get on the list. Spots are open right now. It's totally free, but you can visit us at smartmoveitaly.com/the Move to Italy bootcamp. This is the sign that you've been waiting for. See you there. Well, hello there, and welcome back to another episode of A New Life in Italy. I'm Samantha Wilson, and today is a fun day. I have a great guest on that's going to tell us about what it's been like to move from Canada all the way over here to Italy. And you know, every time I meet someone who has packed up their life and moved to Italy, I am reminded just how powerful one decision can be. Saying yes to a new adventure, taking that leap, it changes everything. Your circle of friends shift, your family dynamics change, and you find part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And in my job, I'm kind of lucky because I get to meet so many incredible people who've made that choice. Now, some have tried and decided it wasn't for them. Some tried, stumbled, and then found a way to make it work. And some, like today's guest, are not just surviving, they're absolutely crushing it. Today, I'm talking to someone who shares my Canadian roots, a fellow Canuck. A year ago, she made the bold move to Bari, down south in Italy, down in Puglia. And we're going to talk about how she made it happen, the real behind the scenes of finding work, navigating life in a new culture, and yes, even finding love along the way. So if you've been wondering what it's really like to take that big leap and build a new life here in Italy, this episode you don't want to miss. I'm Samantha Wilson, Chief Dreammaker at smartmoveitaly.com, and this is A New Life in Italy, a show where each week I take you behind the scenes of what it's really like to move to Italy, introduce you to some fascinating people, answer your questions, and show you how starting a new life in Bel Paese is possible for you. I want to start by talking about why we make these big life changes. For me, every major decision, whether it was moving countries or starting Smart Move Italy, has completely reshaped my life. And that's the thing. Change doesn't just shift where you live, it ripples out into your friendships and your family connections, and even how you see yourself. It's not always easy, and you lose things along the way, but you also gain new things. And it can take a long time to feel like you've landed, especially if you're a foreigner. But what inspires me the most is seeing other people doing it. I've met hundreds, actually maybe thousands of people over all of these years who have taken this leap to Italy. Now, some have tried and gone home, and some have faced pretty severe setbacks before they actually found their success or found their groove. But every single story is worth telling, and that's why I am so excited about today's conversation. I'm talking with Jade, and you might know her online as Jade in the Life. She is a fellow Canadian, a Canuck, who made the move to Bari down south in Puglia a year ago. Now, after a solo trip to Puglia, so she came all by herself and had a vacation, ended up in Monopoli, which she'll talk to us about. This was back in 2023. She had that moment of, what if I just did it? What if I moved to Italy? All by myself, by the way. So fast forward a year, and she is actually here. She's living in Bari. She's navigating her new Italian life, working on building a relationship, and creating this incredible new chapter. Well, hello, Jade. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Samantha. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited because you are down south. You are in Puglia right now in Bari, right?
Yes, that is exactly right, down in Puglia.
Oh, great. Okay, so I've already done a little introduction, but I want you to tell us, start from the beginning. You know, when was the idea of moving to Italy? When did it first come to you? Was it always something you wanted to do? Tell me what happened.
Okay. I feel like I'm about to have a therapy session right now. Where do I begin? No, 2 years ago in 2023, how old was I? 33 years old. I took my first solo trip I don't know. I wanted to do something I've never done before. So I was like, I've always wanted to go to Italy. I want to just see what the vibe is there. So I came down to Italy, 5 week solo trip. I was working remotely,
Mm-hmm.
still in Toronto, but because of the time change, I got to experience a lot of the day, still work at night. But I didn't do any of the touristy spots. I started my journey out in Palermo, which was the biggest culture shock I've ever experienced in my life, really. Like,
Yes.
almost traumatizing. I couldn't leave my apartment for like 3 days because I was
Yeah.
like, hey, no, the amount of people on the
Yeah.
streets
Chaos.
from
Hmm.
like 6 a.m. until it feels like 6 a.m. the following, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
was there for about 10 days, and then I went to Lecce, which is absolutely stunning, but very different in terms of the pace.
Hmm.
So because of that drastic change, I was like, my next stop was Monopoly. So I went to Monopoly a little earlier
Hmm.
than I planned, and I fell madly in love with Monopoly, like crazy.
Hmm.
Again, I was alone the whole time, but in Monopoly, I obviously bounced around Puglia a little bit more. And I just really loved the way of life. It felt very simple. For me, the sea has always been very healing, or just water in general.
Hmm.
Obviously, in Ontario, where we've got a lot of lakes. So for me, water and being around that, nature is healing. I don't know what I wanted to be healed from, but I don't know. I felt really good being in this area. And
Yeah.
then the day before I left, I was like, I can't let this be the last time that I'm here. Like, I feel like there's like a story that hasn't been written for me yet here. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was I've never had that feeling in my life before. So
Mm.
then I got home and let it settle, like the post
The
experience.
post Italy experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and it never settled. In fact, like I remember waiting for the streetcar to go to work, and it was like I was seeing mirages of the buildings in front of me. No, it was really crazy. I'm like, okay, I'm like, you know what? Because so I came here on the working holiday visa,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is available 35 years and under for Canadians. So I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? If I'm not going to do this now, like I'm never going to do it.
Right. Yeah. Canadian and Australian, actually, that visa.
Yes, you're correct,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Australian.
Hmm.
So yeah, kind of, I was back, and that was the thought. I'm like, Jade, I've got nothing holding me back here. I've obviously got my friends and family; they're never leaving. But I was feeling maybe incomplete. It's a bit of a rat race in Toronto.
Yeah.
I come from hospitality as well, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just feeling burnt out in many different aspects, physically, mentally, emotionally. So I was like, let's press reset. I can do that. I'm allowed to do that in my own life. So
Yeah. And
that
so Italy wasn't like your lifelong dream. It just happened to be the place that you went on your solo vacation and it just hit
really,
you. Is that,
yeah,
yeah.
really. And obviously, I had backup plans after because I was like, okay, I know I don't want to be in Toronto. So if Italy didn't work out for me, I was gonna get another visa somewhere else. But I'm still here.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you actually arrive?
I think it was about 6 months. I got back to Canada after that trip in September of 2023, or just at the
Mhm.
end.
Mhm.
And May 1st, I was over here. So I gave myself about 6 months to figure out the logistics of
Mhm.
everything.
Right.
But yeah, I for me, if I'm not doing it now, I got to be in the momentum. I can't
Yeah. You can't
think.
slow down.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, I got this momentum. Let's just keep going.
So let's talk just a little bit about that working holiday visa for people listening who aren't
Yeah.
aware of it. So it's a visa only for Canadians and Australians, and it's actually designed for young people under the age of 35 with
Yes.
no dependents at all, so no kids. And it's designed for you to come to Italy
Hmm.
and work and
Hmm.
vacation. It's kind of a blend. So
Yeah.
tell me about the experience that you went through to get that.
On the Canadian side, very simple, like very simple. I was actually shocked at how fast the process was. Um, so really, it was just getting the application online, filling it out, getting I updated my passport to the 10-year,
Hmm.
even though it wasn't expiring for a couple more years. But I just wanted, I don't know, maybe I knew I was going to be staying. Who knows? But it was a relatively easy process to go through. The savings that you need to show that you have isn't astronomical. You don't have to have a job when you move here, nor do
Hmm.
you actually have to have a place, a long term place when you move here.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
was nice because people I'm finding in this area of Italy don't respond well to WhatsApp. WhatsApp, yes, but emails, not so much. So to be actually in person here to find a long term was
A world
helpful.
of difference for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, but
definitely
honestly, it was really easy.
right.
I stressed myself out a lot. I like reread the same sentences on the application for like days. I'm like, what do I put in? Where am I flying in? Even though I had my ticket, I'm an overthinker. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was very very easy.
Hmm.
The process here though was
It was Italian. Yeah, it was a
it was
completely
it was
different thing.
it was Italian.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you are in Bari. So the questura in, tell me, hang on, let's just back up a minute.
Yeah,
So
go.
with the working holiday visa,
Hmm.
you are allowed to work on that visa. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
it's designed to let you do that so that you can supplement. This is why, for those listeners, why you don't need to have a whole lot of money in the bank. You need to show some, and I don't know the number off the top of my head nowadays, but you have to show some.
I think it was
And
honestly like in Canadian, I think it was close to just like 3,000
yeah, it's
Canadian.
really, really low.
Really
And
low.
yeah, and the reason is because you are allowed to work. And as a matter of fact,
Exactly.
it's designed as kind of a cultural exchange because of course Italians have the working holiday back in Canada, which
Yes.
some people don't think about. But it's this exchange of youth really
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
come to the other country. So tell me about that. You arrive in Italy and then did you think to work right away or were you just wanting to hang out?
Well, I've mentioned already, I'm a bit of an overthinker. So for me, I was like, I got to find a job right now. I gave myself like the first week to settle in. I had an apartment here for a month,
Mhm.
but I had to find a long term. So I was feeling a little, yes, I was here, but I came to Bari without ever stepping foot here before. Like during my solo trip, I had never been to Bari before. So for
Mm.
me, landing here, I was like, with my two little suitcases and my
Mhm.
whole life in my hands, I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So I wanted to give myself a bit of a time to adjust. In retrospect, I wish I gave myself a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Um, but teach their own. I think some people can get by depending on how much savings you have. You can
Mhm.
extend that integration a little bit longer. But
Right.
wasn't. I was looking a little bit for a job given the fact I don't speak Italian.
Mhm.
I ideally wanted a remote job back in Canada to kind of help alleviate that financial
Right.
impending stress. But yeah, I don't know. I found my job in a very random way. I was the week after I moved here. I was sitting at a little restaurant, just having a glass of wine, and the direttore, so the manager, he was
Mhm.
serving and chatting. It was like aperitivo, 6:30 p.m., maybe a little bit too early. So I was really the only one there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Especially in the South.
I was
It's
ready
really
for
early.
I was ready for dinner. um, and yeah, so he was just chit chatting with me. Oh, you're here on vacation? No, I just moved here. Oh, what are you doing? Are you working? No, I'm looking for a job. Well, he's like, well, do you want to work here? And I was like, well, that was easy. So I had my CV already in my at my apartment. So I came the next day with that. Did like I don't even want to call it an interview. I freshened up on Duolingo really quick before I went over. Talked a couple buongiornos, and yeah, they gave me like a little trial run, but very, very, very thankful, and I think maybe very lucky, especially in Bari, which isn't tourism is increasing, but people
Yeah.
choosing to live here. I don't think too much from Canada. I've met a couple
Mhm.
Canadians that live outside of Bari, but not too
Yeah.
many here. So I think I
Well,
don't know. I feel I think
Puglia,
maybe a
yeah,
little lucky.
Puglia is a very popular place for because the small towns are 7% tax zones for retired people. So there's a lot of people that live, but not in Bari, of course, because it's
Hmm.
too big.
Hmm.
So yeah, so okay, so you get this job, you start this job. How was it? What was it?
You
I
know,
mean,
it
tell me the
was
difference.
what the difference, my goodness. Do you want the good, the bad, or
All
all
of
of it?
it, all of it.
Okay, what I found was because I come from hospitality as well. I come from advertising and hospitality, about 15 years in that career. So right off the bat, the having a wine on shift, having your cigarettes, guests, no, they can wait. Like it was very lax. I was like, they've told me so many, Jade, you're working too hard. You're working too
Yeah.
hard. Have a wine. I'm like, what? Okay. So that even yeah, that threw me. But small restaurant. They took me in under their wing, like you wouldn't believe. The my direttore, he helped me with appointments, looking with real estate agents here to help me find an apartment. I felt very, very, very taken care of, and considering I had just arrived, I
Yeah.
felt, yeah, they were like my uncles and
Mm-hmm.
Italian dads. It was very family. So for me, that was very different in terms of working, how much care and love there was
Mm-hmm.
towards each other, me as well. So
Well, I think what you've just described is what I talk about it all the time is that Italy is not transactional. Even your work is not transactional. There's
no,
something behind it here. And
yeah,
just that they take you in and you become part of their world, which
yes,
is it's a little bit disarming,
for
for
sure.
North Americans, for Canadians especially. It's because we like our distance. We're used to space and openness
Yes.
and then, when somebody is so involved, although I'm sure you were very grateful for it because
But there
it's not
were
easy.
moments where I was like, I'm feeling a little anxious. Like, why do you want, like, because I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. I like having my space. I like picking and choosing what I say when I say it. But it's very, how are you feeling? What's going on? Who's this? What's that? Blah, blah. And it was like best friend mode activated, but I've only known them for like a month. So,
Yeah.
but that's how they are with everybody.
Oh, especially in the South, right? The
Yes.
North is more like how we're used to it, a little bit more Italian, but still more
Yes.
close. But in the South, yeah, once you're there, you're
You're
on
in it.
display.
You're
You
in
are
it. Yeah.
part of
Oh,
it. You're
oh
in it.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
The drama, the rumor mill.
Oh,
Bari's pretty small, so
yeah.
oh, you're the Canadian girl. Like I'm like I just got here.
Yeah, everyone, you were the talk of the town. There's no
Yeah.
question.
It
So
was.
you made friends. This obviously helped you with the loneliness. But did you still? I mean, there's still this cultural loneliness that you were feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. Culture. Not. So, I'm gonna say no. Just for me, no. Um, I don't know really how to put it into words why no. I feel like Canada, especially Toronto, I feel like there's a lack of culture, especially when you're living downtown. The
Hmm.
culture is work, going out after work to have happy hour, turns into a dinner, turns into the live music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the culture. So maybe sometimes I'm like, oh, it'd be nice if there was like a cute little bar like that. But the culture that I was a part of was something that for me personally, didn't want to be a part of anymore.
Hmm.
Um, Again, it's just the big city, small intersection kind of vibe that
Yeah.
I wanted to get away from. But
Right.
obviously, I miss the variety of food, the different like the cultural and ethnic variety of food in Toronto. Here, I'm
Mm.
trying to cook Mexican with the limited amount of spices that we have. So there's like little things, of course, that I miss.
Yeah. But
But
overall, the reward, seems
big,
to be, yeah,
big.
because the connections are different. It's just I used to talk about this years ago and I talk about it with my friends, that I grew up with, I've known since a kid.
Hmm.
And although they really are my true friends, where
Hmm.
they're the ones who know me the best.
Yeah.
The relationships and the friendships I've made in Italy they're a different level of connection. It's
Yeah.
not as deep, like they know you and understand you from where you
Exactly.
come from, but
Hmm.
it's almost this humanistic way. Like they always have time for you. They're
Yes.
never, oh yeah, okay, well we haven't seen each other, so maybe let's look at our calendar and we can meet next month for 20 minutes for
Yes.
coffee.
Yes.
That's the North American. In Italy, it's like, hey, I see you on the street, everything stops. I'm talking to you and only you, and it's this
I
amazing feeling.
Yes, it is. It is. It's like it's not something I've experienced before. It's almost like blinders in the most amazingly beautiful way. It's the world stops. Even if it's
Hmm.
just for a little coffee, which typically takes, if I'm on my own, like a minute and a half. But if I bump into somebody, it's 20 minutes of chit chatting.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very beautiful. And again, that way of life, that care that people put into one another to maybe get to know you, even if it is just on a surface level. It's still very, very beautiful, very comforting. And again, that's why I never felt or even now feel alone. or lonely. Sometimes, yes. I think that's a given, but no, I couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah. Now you met your boyfriend here.
Yes.
So tell me this story.
A love story.
A
Okay.
love story.
Well, I was working at this little restaurant, Pimperi, and he doesn't dress like a typical Italian. He wears like big brimmed hats. He's very loose fitting clothing. I don't know. He had this very cool vibe that I was very attracted to. And just to him, he had a very kind face. So I saw him when I was working, but he was with another woman. Turns out it was his sister, but I was like, okay, I'm not getting involved. Like, I'm not going to be cutie eyes with this man. But he kept doing it to me, but whatever. Then he left. And then maybe like a month and a half later, after work, we typically go to this little bar nearby, and he was there, and after a shift, my Italian is still horrible, by the way, but after a shift, I just couldn't even say buonasera.
Yeah.
So he said hi to me in Italian, and I said hi, and he looked at me so confused, like, who is this English speaking human? And then it kind of got very, very, very awkward, and that was that. Then he turned to his friends. I was like, okay.
Does he not speak? He didn't speak English.
A little bit, but I think he was thrown. I didn't think he knew. Well, he told me when he first saw me at Pamperi, he thought I was Italian.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
And then when he spoke to me in Italian, but I responded in English, he was like, okay, wait, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Wait, sorry. And then maybe another like month and a half went by, and I got a little message in my DMs on Instagram. It was from him, and he wrote in English. He was like, I apologize. I was like, for if he kind of swayed me away or swatted me away, blah blah blah. And then he asked me to meet him for a little drink. So we did, and then we kind of have been inseparable ever since. But it was a very casual way into dating, which was nice. I had a weird, not relationship, but thing right when I moved here. It was a whirlwind. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm here on my own. I made this decision. I really want to get to know myself better. I'm not looking for a relationship. And I was pretty steadfast in that. And so was he. But then the more we hung out and went for walks, dinners, laughed, it just kind of became us. And now we're doing convivenza di fatto. We're living together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes that's when it happens, right? I mean, when you don't want it or you're not looking, and
That's what I say. Yeah.
and sometimes you have to move across the world.
Sometimes you have to move across the world. Yeah. Toronto men weren't it for me.
Yeah. Excellent. So now on looking back over the first year, I know that I watched your Instagram. By the way, everyone, she has an amazing Instagram account, and it's called Jade in the Life, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes so you can find her. But you have this really great way of showing your like your comparisons of what you experience when you're here. And I saw one the other day. It was so funny because I'm Canadian, right? And Canadians drink beer, especially when we go to concerts or something like that.
Yes.
You had a little post and you were at a concert. I don't know which one you were at, but you were at a concert. Which one?
I forget it. Caesar, with his last name. Help me out.
So I don't know. I
Whatever.
have no idea. And and so you went to this concert, but your comments were like, "There's just two little beer tents. Like that's it for this entire stadium, right?" Like
sometimes when I post these, sometimes Giovanni's like, "People are going to think you don't like it here." I'm like, "No, but that's the point of a comparison. I'm just stating this is different. This is But I love it. It's
It's hilarious. It's fun, and it's really nice because, I mean, it's not all perfect, and you do struggle. And I know that you've gone from your holiday working visa, and you are I don't know what you are now.
Right now, I'm in limbo land. I can't leave Italy unless it's a direct flight back to Canada.
Yeah, you're waiting for your permesso or something, are you? Okay. So you still have this heaviness of the bureaucracy that needs to get you from your holiday working visa to your next step, which is ultimately wanting to stay in Italy, which is a whole other thing to talk about. But the point of it really being is that if you look back over the first year, what do you think is the biggest challenge that maybe you didn't see coming?
Really, I think finding friends. I put a reel up recently about finding those real connections. Again, we just kind of briefly touched on it. obviously I have my best friends back home. They're like my soul sisters. We've been friends for like 20 years. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't expecting to find that here, but I'm having a little bit of a difficult time making friends. I feel like now that my Italian is improving a little bit, it's easier for me to express myself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But to put myself out there in that sense, to find the time to do it, because I'm working a lot. I work in weddings now, so this summer I'm either working or working like in Tuscany at a wedding, blah 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 blah. So finding the time to do that, the energy,
Mm-hmm.
I don't. That's a little
It's
tricky.
exhausting.
It is
Yeah.
exhausting, and yeah, I think that's. I wasn't expect. I knew it was going to be hard, but I didn't realize how hard it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially again when you don't speak the language, it's hard to
It's it's
connect
not
on a
even
level.
just the language. The language obviously will help,
Yeah,
for sure. But it's the history.
yeah,
Like you don't have the same
none.
history.
And
So
what's and here too, sorry to cut you off, but like my boyfriend, they've all been friends since they were in grade 3. And I've noticed a lot of different friend groups have been friends since they were in like kindergarten together. So
mhm,
they have
mhm.
like 30 years of
Yeah.
it's very common here, I think, and that to me is beautiful. But again, the history, it's not
Yeah.
there.
And the
Hmm.
history of just the way they communicate is different. And what's
Yes.
funny is not funny. And, the humor is different. It's always these just little, you're just a little always on the outside, like
Yes.
always just a little bit on the edge. So this, I think, is why a lot of foreigners who move to Italy eventually, they have their Italian friends, which especially when their language gets better,
Hmm.
lots of them, but there's always something more to a deeper relationship with people from your culture. And I think that until you become a foreigner in a different country,
Hmm.
you don't appreciate that. You don't
No.
realize how different, although the same, but still different people are
Hmm.
all over the world. You appreciate it more.
For sure. And I have to say I say all the time, I'm like, I promise I'm funny. I promise. My
Yeah,
jokes are good.
you have to start explaining yourself like you're
Yeah.
giving your resume every time
Thankfully,
you talk.
no,
Say, I know that.
Giovanni, he gets my humor. Like, so he'll help translate. And I've got a couple laughs. I'm like, see?
Yeah. Now, so tell me what you're doing now. You said that you're working in weddings, but you're doing a few other things too. I want people to know.
Yes. So I'm working in weddings full time here, which has been incredible. It's romantic, and I'm a hopeless romantic, so it's been beautiful. So outside of that, I'm obviously working on my own social media. Right now, I have a tour that's been live for a couple of months, which is 9 days here down in Puglia to some of my favorite spots like Polignano Mare, Matera, Monopoli, Alberobello, and it's just this very like intimate
Mm-hmm.
experience
Mm-hmm.
that's been like really well curated to get to see kind of the inside, but you typically wouldn't see if you go on if you book a tour.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going along as well, obviously, so I'm feeling really excited about that to kind of show
Yeah.
people from abroad just the behind the scenes beauty, not the postcard version of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Now those come up next year, right? 2026.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
April. Yeah, so
April.
it's I've partnered with EF Go Ahead Tours, very
Perfect.
reputable company. What I loved about them too, obviously, finances for many people are a stress point in life, but they have a really great payment plan monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that you can put towards, obviously, so it's not a big lump sum at
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
So that I think is really helpful as well. But really, I'm really excited. It's some of my favorite spots here, especially Matera. I love Matera.
Oh,
The
I
amount of
know.
history, my gosh.
Yeah.
So
There's no words. You have to just experience it. You have to be there to really get it. Yeah.
really, it's
Yeah. It's
magic. And
amazing.
you can like feel the history in the air. It's very strange, but
Yeah. I
yeah, so
know.
I'm very
I know.
excited.
Okay. So I'm going to put the links for your tours as well in the show
Amazing.
notes.
Yeah, it's
And
available for Canadians as well as those in the States. So
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, finally, let's just wrap it up. Tell me some advice that you would give someone who, is listening to your story, maybe a Canadian sitting out there in the, waiting for the winter to arrive and, thinking that, my God, can I do that too? Tell me, what would you tell them?
Yes, you can. You 100% can do it. But I think it's really important to really feel that fire and to really believe in it, um, in order to make that jump, to make it work. Again, I said it kind of at the beginning. I had never felt this way before. So determined to change my life. And it
Mm-hmm.
became an obsessive thought in an amazing way. Now I'm here and living my best life. But until it actually becomes this full body urge, I 100% you can do it. And there's nothing, I found that the amount of times I've maybe fallen backwards, there was always something or someone here, even myself, that caught me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Mm-hmm.
very safe. I have a great community, and it came from just a dream and a wish, really. And I feel
Yeah.
like once you really manifest that, not even manifest, you just believe in it. It's
Yeah.
really just comes down to belief. Anything, it'll work out,
I
really.
love it. And I love it. And don't focus on the little things you can fix. It's just,
Yeah,
get
it's just
here
moving.
and
It's just
try.
the step. Move. Just
Yeah.
keep moving forward with
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jade, what a great conversation. I loved it. And I
Me
can't wait to
too.
continue to watch your journey. And
Thank
I'll
you.
share all of your links in the show notes. So everyone, please follow her on Insta and take a look at what she's doing. It's
Thank you so
super inspiring.
much.
Yeah. All right. You have
You
a,
just inspired me again. You just lit a little fire under me. So thank you.
oh, you bet. Yeah. Well, listen, you have a really, really great Ferragosto and great summer
Thank you as
holiday.
well. Thank
All
you.
right, Jade.
Okay. Ciao for
Take
now.
care. Ciao. Well, what an amazing conversation with Jade. I love stories like hers because they remind me that making a big move, whether it's just, all the way across the world or even just a big change in your life, always starts with that little spark, that feeling that you can't ignore, that sort of nagging thought in your mind that doesn't go away. And what she said at the end is so true, that you don't need to have every single detail figured out. You just need to take the very first step and keep moving forward and believe in it and believe in yourself. Italy has this way of catching you when you fall. You'll meet people. There's ways to get through problems. You'll be introduced to the right people who can help navigate those problems. And it'll give you a life that you didn't even know was possible. So if you're listening right now, maybe sitting in Canada or anywhere else in the world, dreaming about living in Italy and wondering if you can really do it, even if you're just by yourself, well, Jade is living proof. It is absolutely possible. Now, I'll share all of Jade's links in the show notes, so go follow her, check out her tours, and keep an eye out on her journey because I am certain she has a lot more stories to tell. It's time for listener questions. Just like the old radio call-in shows, my team has picked 3 listener questions, all left on our voicemail. I have no idea what these questions are, but I haven't been stumped yet. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into today's episode's questions. Question number 1. I am thinking about moving to Italy next year, but I am overwhelmed by the different visa options. How do I figure out which visa is right for me and what's the first step to take? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you, although there are lots of options, lots of different visas for Italy, usually people don't have a lot of options themselves. Usually there's only maybe one visa that fits, and maybe that doesn't even quite fit perfectly. For some people, there might be 2 options. They may be considering the elective residency visa versus the investor visa, for example. So the way to figure out which one is best for you is to ask yourself this one question. What do I want, or how do I see myself, 3-5 years from now? If your idea is you want to live in Italy full time and never want to leave, well, then maybe a student visa isn't your best option because it ends when your course ends. Or maybe the digital nomad visa isn't your best option because at the end of it, or if you decide to stop working, you can't convert that permit into something else. So although on the surface, there's the qualifiers that you need to get the visa. In order for that visa to continue to serve you, to give you the things that you need when you get to Italy, you have to make sure that you pick the right one, not just now, but that you know what happens in the future. So the best way to do that is to learn as much as you can and weigh out what you want now, what you want midterm, and sort of a long-term plan, and make sure that that visa works for you or that you have an option later on. Now, I go about this all the time in my consultations. So if I'm talking to you, these are the things that I want you to think about as we're trying to decide, if you have options, trying to decide which visa is right for you. Question number 2. Everyone talks about buying property in Italy as a foreigner. What's the biggest mistake that you see people make when they start looking for a house, and how can I avoid it? Okay, well, I think the biggest mistake that people make is focusing only on the place that they visited the most. I mean, if you have a place that you really love and you know that is your spot, then sure, go ahead, keep looking only in that very small window. But I want to urge you to think a little bit beyond what you just know in Italy, because there are a lot of other options for you. And what I find people do in relation to this is that if the place that they really love the most doesn't fit their budget, for example, if you come to Tuscany and you're in love with Florence or the surrounding area, but your budget isn't high enough to meet that, they think Italy is off the table. And it isn't, because there's great transportation here, because there's great lifestyle and choices in many different cities and many different regions that, although won't be exactly what you had in your mind at the beginning, it will be exactly what you're looking for in your life. So I think one of the worst mistakes people make is saying, oh, look, I can't afford to buy in Italy, because all they're thinking about is, that place that they visited on vacation that might be out of their range, and not taking the time to realize that there's really a million amazing, wonderful places to live in Italy. So I think open your mind and be open to everything is the best advice I can give. Question number 3. I keep hearing that Italian bureaucracy is a nightmare. From your experience, what's the one thing people can do before they arrive that makes the process of settling in so much smoother? There's only one thing you can do, I promise you. There's one thing you can do that will save everything. Are you ready? It's just to relax and to understand that nothing is going to work the way that you want it to be or to take. The time will be 2x, 3 times as long. What you thought the process should like the steps you need to take will probably deviate. If you really, truly embrace that understanding and that acceptance of your expectations of your move, and that it's okay, nobody's going to, if you don't get the one thing done, they're not going to kick you out of the country. You have time here. You have time to figure it out. Sometimes there's deadlines, but most of the time, it's not critical that you're going to be kicked out of the country if you don't do something immediately that day. If you embrace all of that and you just exhale and you breathe through it, you will eventually get through it. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to drive you nuts, and you're going to say, that is ridiculous. Why does it have to be that way? But accept that that's just the way it is. It is a nightmare. There's no hiding it. But the worst part, what makes it really super hard for people, is not accepting that it's not in their control most of the time. Well, that's all for this week's episode. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions about visas, citizenship, property, and really anything about moving to Italy that you would like me to answer in an upcoming episode, please feel free to send us a voicemail at our website at smartmoveitaly.com/podcast, or just click on the links in the show notes. Thanks again for listening, and remember, you can find all of the resources and the links to the people and the places that I mentioned in this episode inside the show notes. Ciao for now. A New Life in Italy podcast is a production of Sentire Media, created and hosted by me, Samantha Wilson. Production by London Nero, and with special thanks to Ali Frothingham, Sofia Pisana, and the entire team at Sentire. Follow A New Life in Italy wherever you get your podcasts. And hey, if you're thinking of moving to Italy, whether full-time, part-time, or for a lifetime, come and see me over at smartmoveitaly.com, and we'll help you get here and start living your best life. And don't forget, if you love this episode, please rate and leave a review. It's much appreciated. I can't wait to meet up with you again next week, same time, same place. Ciao for now.
Sentire Media.
Do you keep saying, one day I'm going to move to Italy? Well, today is that day. My Move to Italy bootcamp is back September 9th, 10th, and 11th this year, and it's completely free, totally online, and it only happens once a year. For thousands of people, this bootcamp was the turning point, the moment that things got very real. So if you're even thinking about moving to Italy, make sure you get on the list. Spots are open right now. It's totally free, but you can visit us at smartmoveitaly.com/the Move to Italy bootcamp. This is the sign that you've been waiting for. See you there. This episode is brought to you by the Smart Move Italy app, your free tool for planning, moving, and thriving in Italy. Download it today on iOS and Android.